they invented your world. The Doctrines of Demons. The objective of the enemy of your soul is to keep you from the truth and waste your time so you'll die without it. He must distract you or lead you to think other smarter or educated men have it all figured, and all you have to do is get dunked, go to a Sunday assembly, and pay. Arise, shine, for your light has come. Soon you will know more than your denomination's preacher about what Scripture teaches. Camouflaged paganism. Doctrine means teaching. It's a Latin word related to document, written instruction, and also doctor, meaning teacher. We have all been trained or programmed from birth with various traditions, rituals, and customs. All paganism is targeted at children. How we keep track of time is a worldwide type of programming. Here we will look into how we came to be trained to think of and organize time in our days, months, and years. One of the first things we do when we awake each day is check the time. Originally, the hours of daylight were measured using a sundial, and the shadow of the sun marked off 12 hours until it set. The marked hours on the dial pass more quickly in the winter months and slower in the summer months. The variance in the length of an hour is less important than knowing where you are in time relative to the whole day. So this system worked fine. There was no daylight saving time trick to deal with. However crazy the sundial seems to us, the gaining and losing of an hour is at least as weird. There were always 12 hours in every day time. Noon, or Latin nons, 9, was the 9th hour after sunrise, or 3 p.m. in the ancient world. Each day of the week was originally referred to by a number. The 7th day also had a name, Shabbat, meaning rest. Yes, even Adam and Kuah, the first man and woman, observed the 7-day week. There is no one named
Eve
in the Hebrew. This name was embraced to appease pagans because one of the names for their earth mother was
Eve.
The name Kuah is derived from the Hebrew word kai, meaning life. Thus her name means mother of the living. The ending ah, renders it feminine, similar to the ending in Sarah. Sar means prince or ruler. Sarah means princess. If you check your calendar, you will notice the days of the week have been given names. The names were taken from among pagan peoples who honoured their deities by calling the days by the names of their idols. Day 1 is Sun Day. From Latin, die solis, the day of the sun. Since Babylon was established, pagans have worshipped the sun. Here's a few of the names they've used.
Baal, Bel, Shan, Ash, Moloch, Ahura Mazda,
Dagon, Sol, Marduk,
Mithras, Krishna, Amun Ra,
Aten,
Woden, Odin, Adonis, Zeus,
Dias,
And the Druid Teutonic, God.
God,
You may recall that the Pharaoh and the Caesar were worshipped as the sun. This began with the first king, Nimrod, discussed later. This pattern of worshipping the sun, moon, planets and stars permeated the Babylonians, Persians, Chaldeans, Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, Celts, Mayans, Aztecs, and Indians. They were turned over to worship the heavens, and it says that in Acts 7, verse 42. The governments were the religion. If they were good pagans, at death they would be transported to the skies, or heavens, to live with their deities. This was called Nirvana, Shambhala, or Elysian Fields. The Roman consul Emperor Constantine I gave us the term Sun Day, which referred to
Sol Invictus.
Mithras.
the unconquerable sun.
Mithras.
In 321 CE, he decreed under the penalty of death that all artisans, merchants, and people of his empire cease work on the venerable day of the sun to honour.
Mithras.
This was a universal edict and is still enforced in our Western culture with our blue laws. Interestingly, the government phone numbers are printed on blue pages in our United States phone books. It was a weekly ritual of sun worshippers to assemble at dawn on this day to greet the sun at its rising. A great pillar or sun ray obelisk was the solar religion's primitive high place, condemned by Scripture as a pillar of jealousy, secretly interpreted as a male fertility symbol. Various tower designs, such as steeples, pagodas, turrets, ziggurats, minarets, spires, obelisks, and pyramids, have served pagans well. The temple did not have a high place, nor do synagogues. Sacred pillars were to be demolished. Yahuwah hates them. These pagan high places would receive the first hallowed rays of dawn. At this point, bells were rung by hand, as in a shaker grid, and large ones were struck with oak logs swung horizontally. Gongs struck with hammers were especially fun for the Oriental pagan, but they also used the familiar bell shape too. In the book The Conquest of Peru, Prescott is an eyewitness to blatant sun worship. And there's a quote here: "The Inca would assemble at dawn eagerly. They watched the coming of the deity, and no sooner did his first yellow rays strike the turrets than a shout of gratulation broke forth from the assembled multitude. The wild tunes from barbaric instruments swelled louder and louder as his bright orb shone in full splendour on his votaries." The Romans considered anyone who did not worship the sun to be an atheist and a traitor, since Caesar was the sun enthroned in a man. Foreign beliefs found some tolerance in the Edict of Milan in 313 CE. Religion, politics, and sports were all different facets of the same thing. More discussion on Sunday will follow later. Now we come to day 2. Monday, the day of the moon. To the Romans, Luna Dies. The Old English term was monandaig, as translated from Latin, where mona means moon. Mona Lisa means moon lily. We get our word month or month from Mona. The 29.5 day orbital cycle, but this second weekday is named what it is because it has been dubbed the moon's day. The moon was identified with
Artemis. Diana.
and in some cults the sun and moon were the eyes of heaven.
Artemis.
Is depicted with the crescent moon beneath her feet, as if riding in a boat, exactly as you will see Miriam or Mary in Roman Catholic illustrations. The astral king, the sun, and his sister, the moon, were the dominant figures that shaped the astrobiological mind. The futility of honouring pagan deities resulted because their foolish hearts were darkened, because they did not honour or give thanks to the Creator, though his invisible attributes are clearly seen. And just a note down the bottom about
Artemis,
she is the old deity,
Asherah,
a Phoenician consort of
Baal,
a deal breaker with Yahuwah. Now we come to day 3,
Tuesday,
Tyr, Day,
the day of
2,
a Teutonic Druid Celtic idol. Unable to help themselves, the population of the Angles and Saxons were kept under control by various Druid priest cults. Like any other pagan religion, the population lived in fear and ignorance, while the parasite fed off of them and kept them brainwashed. The Druids still worship the sun at Stonehenge every summer solstice.
Tyr,
Or
2,
was the Norse deity of war, considered the son of
Odin, Woden,
the French called this day
Mardi, Mars,
day, after
Mars,
the Roman deity of war,
Mardi Gras,
is the French name meaning fat,
Tuesday,
still bearing the name of the Roman deity. This festival falls the day before Ash,
Wednesday,
the beginning of Lent, both to be discussed later. Now day 4.
Wednesday,
Well, duh, as expected by now, it's another pagan idol's name. An elder in Iceland couldn't stand it anymore and changed the days back to numbers for that island several hundred years ago. By saying it's
Wednesday,
Woden, Odin,
we are declaring it to be
Woden's
day. Considered highly skilled in magic, this Celtic deity was to the Teutonic pagan the husband of, or
Frigga,
the Romans honoured
Mercury,
on this day, calling it
Mercury,
Dies
Mercury,
Day. This midweek evening was highly regarded as a night of magic. The Druids met to hold hands in a circle, chant, enchant, cast spells, and do it while surrounding a burning cross, the symbol of
Woden, Odin,
some believe the Celtic crux is a pagan magic symbol, the trifolium clover leaf representing
Woden,
Frigga,
and
Thor,
other Druid trinities included
Jesus, Cutates, Taranis,
Anglo-Saxon xenophobia, or the fear of foreigners, and Druid customs are seen today in the modern Ku Klux Klan. They still call their leaders wizards and use the Celtic term clan, a traditional social unit in Scotland. The word comes from the Greek kuklos, meaning circle. A very secretive society, it rose up mainly in the South, in the US, after the Civil War, to reassert white supremacy by terroristic methods. The Druids were very nationalistic, so it was difficult for Rome to conquer them. The only way Christianity could win them over was to absorb their culture. This is called enculturation. Syncretisms, the attempt to reconcile or combine differing beliefs in philosophy or religion by uniting them. Mixes of two or more behaviours together, reinventing the meaning on the surface. Is this the real reason some Christians meet together on this night? Catholics have always had a novena session on this night. What is the idea we call synchronism? Syn, S-Y-N, means together, and the dictionary defines cretin, as a fool, an idiot. French, cretin, idiot, from Swiss French, Christen, Christian. Sorry, look it up for yourself. We will have a look at the word Christian as a translation of Messian, a follower of any generic Messiah Mashiach, a bit later.